Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Suzanne Dibble here, data protection law expert, coming to you raw and uncut. Still in Dubrovnik, due to fly home tomorrow morning. And I am staying in tonight to catch up on GDPR stuff rather than going out with the with all my clients who are here for a final dinner. So for those of you who have been waiting maybe a couple of days for a reply from me, I've been here in meetings literally all day and all evening, so normal service will be resumed as of now. Quick video this evening about processor agreements, and particularly what to do if you're a data controller in the US. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say is that if you are using a processor that is outside of the EEA, and I'm actually now just talking about data controllers who are within the union, and you're using a data processor who is outside of the EEA, then you need to put in place the processor agreement that you can find in my pack, but also the standard contractual clauses that are also in the pack. You need both of those agreements, and it's very frustrating actually because they overlap to a great extent, but the standard contractual clauses don't cover all of the things that GDPR says that you need to include in your processor agreement. Okay, so for the time being, until the Commission possibly amends the standard contractual clauses so that they do cover everything that they say you have to put in a processor agreement, we have to have both. Okay, that's the first thing that I want to say. Now, the second thing that I want to say is that if you are based in the US and you've worked out that GDPR applies to you, and you are using a processor that is outside of the EEA, well, what's the position for you guys? And the answer is it's really unclear, and I'm trying to get some clarity on it and some guidance, and it's proving very problematic. So according to the regulations, if you transfer data outside of the EEA, and it talks about transferring it outside of the EEA. So that's my first issue, is if the data is already outside of the EEA, then what's the position there? But if you do work on the assumption that transferring from a US data controller to, say, a US processor is a transfer of data outside of the EEA, then you would have to look at the general rules for that, which are that you look first whether the country has an adequacy finding, while the United States doesn't. So then you look at the privacy shield and whether the actual processor is part of the privacy shield. Now, if it's not part of the privacy shield, then you would, at that point, if the data controller was in the EU, you would at that point look at putting the standard contractual clauses into place. But as I say, I think I said anyway, the standard contractual clauses don't envisage that a US data controller is signing them. Okay, now, the GDPR also talks about things like there being a code under which the data can be transferred, or a certificate, but they don't actually apply yet. They don't exist. Okay, so the only other thing that unless the very specific derogations apply, the only other thing that we have is explicit consent from each data subject. Okay, but I think that, I'm not sure that that is the intent, that you would have to go and get the explicit consent from each data subject in every circumstance where a US data controller is using a US data processor. So it's not clear, and I've researched this till I'm blue in the teeth. Not sure that's the right expression here, but you know what I mean. And I've actually tried to contact the ICO a number of times, but not been able to get through. And I've also reached out to one of my data protection pals to see if he's got any thoughts on this. So it's just, I'd say I can't find any guidance on any websites about it, and it is not very satisfactory. So as of this moment in time, I don't know the answer to the question of what is the method of protecting the data when it's being transferred from a US data controller that is subject to GDPR, and they're transferring it to a US data processor that is not subject to GDPR. What is the protection for that data? I don't know. So So I'm going to keep on the case with that and update you on that. But what I can tell you, as I said at the start of this video, is that if you are a EU data controller, you're controlling personal data of data subjects within the Union and you're based within the EU, then if you are transferring that data outside of the EEA, then you need a processor agreement, which is in my pack, and you also need to put the standard contractual clauses into place if there isn't an adequacy finding and if that company isn't within the privacy shield. Just realised that I've been chopping my head off all the way through this video because I've not got my tripod out here. So that's where we are with data processors. So I'll keep looking into that for you. And yeah, that's all I can say for now. So posted about the party yesterday. Thanks to all of you who have already got hold of your tickets. We're going to have a really, really fun night on the 24th of May, which is about 2 weeks away, isn't it? I think just less than 2 weeks. So we're going to have great fun. We've got a fantastic venue right on the Thames. There's going to be free-flowing drinks and canapes and a DJ. We're going to do some dancing and have some fun. There's going to be some awards for people who've really, really been helpful in the group. We're going to hopefully get some journalists there. There's going to be some awesome networking, and we're going to have a pretty phenomenal time. I know the words phenomenal time and GDPR don't often go hand in hand, but believe me, this is going to be a party stroke networking opportunity that you don't want to miss. So if you haven't yet got your party ticket, go and grab that. So that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow.